For this video, we will be looking at creating a brand new project in Pro Tools LE version 8. To get started, we will click on our Pro Tools icon. A splash screen will pop up here, and while this is loading up, I'll let you know that my Pro Tools LE is connected to a Avid MBox interface. Okay, once the splash screen is finished, we'll have this quick start window where we have the option to create a session from a template, a blank session, or open a previous session. We're going to create a blank session. To set some of the parameters of bit depth and frequency, we need to click on this arrow next to the session parameters. When we click that down arrow, we now have options to choose the audio file type. You can choose between a WAV or AIFF. We'll keep it on WAV because that's a good uncompressed file type. For bit depth, we'll use 24-bit bit depth, and for sample rate, we'll use 48 kilohertz. For the I/O settings, we'll just use the default last used, and we'll click OK. At this point, Pro Tools wants us to save our file. It is advisable to use an external hard drive when you're saving your Pro Tools audio file projects. This is because you want to kind of balance some of the load between the hard drive on the computer and an external hard drive. The hard drive on the computer has to do the work of operating the software and loading all of the things needed to operate the software, whereas if we keep our audio file itself, our project file itself, on an external hard drive, it helps kind of balance the load a little bit. So I have an external hard drive here, and inside the hard drive I've created a folder called Pro Tools Projects, and in here I will create my project file, and I'll just call this Test 1, and then I'll save it. Okay, this actually creates the Pro Tools project file for us. We have the blank settings so far, so let's look at setting some of the parameters. First of those is the buffer size. If we go to the Setup menu and click Playback Engine, here we have the option to change the buffer size. If you click this arrow, it gives you the option of 64 all the way up to 2048 samples. We will keep ours set to 128 samples. You can also change some processor options here in terms of if you have more than one processor or how much of your CPU you want used. Here you'll click OK to set that. To create a new track to record some audio, you'll go to Track and click New. You can choose one or several tracks. Here we'll have one mono track. It's an audio track, and we'll create that. To add a click track to our recording, again we'll go to Track and create click track, and that adds a click track to our audio interface here. And then to add a count off, we'll go up to Setup and click on Click/Count Off. And this allows us to set a count off that is 1 bar long, and we can set whether it plays during play or record or only during record. And we'll click OK. Next, we want to just check to make sure that our interface is set as our input and our output. So on a Macintosh, we go up here to the Apple and click on System Preferences. And once System Preferences opens, we'll click on the sound icon, and then we'll make sure that both in our input the Avid MBox is picked, and output also the Avid MBox is clicked. So we're going to make sure both of those settings. And once we have all of those things configured, we can enable recording on our transport and enable recording on our track, and then when we're ready to record, we hit the play button and we can start recording some audio with our microphone that's connected. So hopefully this was a helpful video on getting you started with using Pro Tools LE version 8.